Good evening, y'all. Alrighty, I'm going to start on this, and we're going to go not too fast, but I'm going to go kind of fast. I'm going to cover 2 chapters tonight. I'm going to try to cover 2 chapters continuously, just in case I end up leaving sooner rather than later. So, for those that don't know, I'm probably going to Africa sometime within about a month or 2, and at 2 chapters a time each session, I think about a month and a half to finish. So, I'm going to get on this. But I'm not going to shortchange you guys. I'm not going to skip over things or leave things half out or nothing like that. So, I'm going to talk really fast. So, listen really fast, okay? Alright. We're going to start off Revelation. Last week we covered chapter 9, and we're now moving on to chapter 10. I'm going to read out of the King James, verse 1. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. And his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open. And he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth. And cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and sware by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are therein, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which therein are, that there should be time no longer. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, and he that declared to his servants the prophets. And the voice which I heard from heaven speak unto me again, and said, Go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up. And it shall make thy belly bitter, and it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kingdoms. Okay, there's a lot of symbology in this one, although it's not actually symbology, it's just a matter of the breakdown. The translation makes it somewhat kind of difficult to really grasp. So let's go ahead and get started here. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud and rainbow upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet pillars of fire. This is an awful lot of description for an angel. You know, at the beginning of Revelation, we see Christ described with feet as of bronze, and, this is really in-depth breakdown, but it's Christ. You expect that, right? This is just an angel. Now, the detail which they go to describe this angel means it's not just an angel. This is a significant angel. This is an angel of some importance. He's not just anything, This angel has authority. It says he has in his hand a little book, and set upon the right foot of the and he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot on the earth. Cried with a loud voice, the lion roareth. Let's see. Cooperate with me here. All right, before I go any further, I just want to bring us up to date, where things stand. This is chapter 10. We are, at this point, we're going to round the midway point of the tribulation. And it's about 4 chapters to accomplish this. Just to get to the halfway point, okay? At this point, we have 50% of mankind is dead. 1/3 of the earth is uninhabitable. 1/3 of water is undrinkable. 1/3 of the sea is unusable. And things are only going to get worse. Right now, things are just bad. That's it. Everything we've experienced so far is just bad. It's about to get really bad. So, This angel, he's holding a little book. Now, it keeps reading a book because the way it translates, it's a book. The direct translation is book. But back then, books were not books like we have today. Books were scrolls. So every time I say book, I want you guys to think scroll. Because we get to the end of this chapter, he has to eat the book. And in our minds, our brains go immediately to a hardcover book, and how is he going to eat that? If you imagine a scroll, thin piece of paper, rolled up, almost like a little burrito. So it makes it a lot more feasible in your mind, if you remember what it is he's actually looking at. So the angel yells, and John hears it as though a lion's roar. So there's one more aspect that goes to depict this angel as an angel of authority. He's a strong, powerful angel. The seven thunders utter something. And I say something because even to this day we do not know what that something is. He is told to seal it up. Why? Literally, do not bother wasting your time trying to figure out what the thunder said or why they're sealed up. It's irrelevant. The Bible does not say anywhere. I promise you. If you find what these seven thunders said, you will be the first one to find a contradiction in the Bible. It doesn't exist. So trying to rack your brain or think you've got it, it does not matter because it doesn't say. So we're going to skip right over that. That is probably the one truly great mystery of the Revelation, is that there will be seven thunders that will utter something that nobody will know until the event actually happens. That I know of, nobody dies during these utterings, but it will be something substantial. And for God to actually put it in His Word, we know it will be substantial when it actually occurs. Now, this breakdown of the angel and his description, John being told to seal up the thunders, has anybody remember anywhere else in the Bible where this has been this similar occurrence happened? Daniel. Nowhere in Daniel? Yeah. Okay. Daniel 12. Okay. I want everyone to go ahead and look at it. Now, does anybody remember what Daniel 11 was? When we covered that. No? Daniel 11 was the introduction to the Antichrist. Okay? That's where I went through that whole spiel in describing him. Let's switch over here. All right, Daniel 12, starting at verse 1. And at that time. Now, what time? Well, in chapter 11, we ended with the abomination of desecration and the appearance of the Antichrist. That's how Daniel 11 ends. And at that time. So we know that the time it's speaking of at this point is referring to Michael. Okay? Or I'm sorry, it's referring to after the abomination of desolation. So verse 1 reads, And at that time shall Michael stand up, a great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, which as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. That sound familiar to anybody else? The such as never was since, we think the Christ Olivet Discourse. So it immediately comes to my mind. You know, there's several other places in the Bible where it talks about the end times, the tribulation basically, which as never was. There'll be times of tribulation that will be greater than anything else. So, verse 2, And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So you have it's almost a play-by-play. Now, because it's so descriptively similar, we don't get the same description of the angel. In this case, we get the angel's name. This would be the archangel Michael. It is arguably Michael's the announcer, I believe, and Gabriel's the warrior. Or Michael's the warrior and Gabriel's the announcer. Huh? In general. I believe Gabriel's the announcer. He makes all the proclamations. Yeah. And Michael is the warrior. He's the one who leads God's armies. I believe the angel that it speaks of in Revelation chapter 11, or 10, is descriptive. I believe it's Michael who is standing 1 foot on the sea, 1 foot on the land. Now, this is not an event that man will see. This is merely an event that Paul bears witness of. That's it. This is not an actual event. I mean, this is a point of symbology, okay? This is an event that John the Revelator actually takes part in. This is not him bearing witness to something that's going to happen in the future. This particularly is him partaking in it. And it'll make a little more sense why when I get to the end of it. But Daniel 12 is basically, it just describes the same scene, or a similar scene. It's not a mirror reflective, but it's one is likened to the other. You know? He tells Daniel to seal it up until the end. Now, what Daniel sealed is what I want you guys to remember about this whole little Daniel 12 portion here, okay? So, it stands to reason that the angel that we're talking about in chapter 10 is Michael, based on the comparison and the similarities. What Daniel was told to seal is the key feature here to Daniel 12. Let's go back to Revelation. So, like Daniel, John the Revelator was told to seal up the voices of the seven thunders. Verse 5, and the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. So it's going to go ahead and call that angel Michael. And swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth, and the things that therein are, and the sea, and the things which are therein, that there should be time no longer. What is that saying? Basically, Michael is looking up to heaven, and he says, basically, he swears to God that we will wait no more. No more time will pass. For what? What is it that we are waiting to, what is it that's not going to wait any longer? Specifically, we're already in the end times. We're actually in the tribulation. So we're past the end times. We're in the final 7 years. We're in the final 7. So at this point, what he's saying will wait no longer is going to be that which Daniel prophesied and was told to seal. When Daniel wrote it originally, and he was told to seal it up and do not make it known. So he did. And until what he wrote was found later, which was... Well, actually, I don't know if that writing was ever actually found. I don't know that it was. I don't know where all we got the stuff from, because it's not actually revealed in Daniel at any point in time. It's not revealed to Revelation. What is it that was written in there? Quite simply put, the seventh trumpet. That is basically what he wrote about. The seventh trumpet is the 7 bowls, the 7 bowls of wrath. That's what he was told to seal up. And that is what actually comes to